our production lines to meet the needs that the warfighter has identified. That changed last year. Deputy Secretary Feinberg has really focused the Munitions Acceleration Council on engaging industry, bringing the right sustained focus, the right sustained resources to move the needle and speed up capacity to what we need, not what fits in to the budget. And that's a very different way to look at this problem. It will take time to scale the supply chain, to grow it and receive the.
We have to identify it, and before we can begin to scale it, and where the challenges are.
Yes, ma'am. And in this president's budget that has been released, there is a significant increase to all of the critical munitions that we require, to include missile defense interceptor inventories as we move forward. And then I would just say, we got here by not having sustained focus and resources on munitions. We really need to sustain the resources and the focus on munitions in the years to come to replenish the stocks and get us the magazine depth that we need.
Thank you. Can I ask one more about staffing? Well, perfect. I have a few more, but I'll finish up with this one. I'm going to stay with you again, General Collins. Our Missile Defense Agency staffing. So you're the director, you oversee global organization, 9,000 military, civilian, and contract personnel. So a lot of people. So given the ambitious Golden Dome initiative, how has the administration's push to reduce the federal workforce, eliminate contracts, affected your agency's ability to really manage this massive expansion? How do you get to be nimble, bring in the people that you need to as you're learning more and more every day? The data set's coming down every day from real-time events in the AOR and theater is really changing what we know. So how are you managing this? Massive expansion for Golden Dome, dwindling missile stockpiles. Of course, you have to collaborate with industry and work with our allies. So tell us what you need to do, what we should be thinking about as we manage this going forward, seeing what we're learning every single day.
Yes, ma'am. I will say Missile Defense Agency, a strength of Missile Defense Agency is the long depth of knowledge and experience we have. With an unmatched commitment to the mission from the entire workforce, whether they be the civilians, the military, or the contractor, and we continue to have that. We have reduced the size of the Missile Defense Agency last year, but we were specific in focusing on areas that made us faster and made us more agile as we move forward. And we're at a manning level today that continues to support us moving faster.
Do you have the authorities, though, to hire people in new areas or things that are emerging? As you're learning from what's happening real time, you may see you need to plus up on something in a place you didn't expect, right?
Yes, ma'am. As the director of the Missile Defense Agency, I do have the flexibility to pivot, identify the competencies that we require, and then the authorities to go hire the right people into the right professions, and whether that's engaging them through contract hirings or through the civilian workforce as well. I do have hiring authorities to be able to identify those. And we have started some Tiger teams within the agency to make sure we do a full competency survey of the agency to identify if there's any areas that we may be a little thin on, especially as we move into some new areas like artificial intelligence, machine learning, even some of the applications of that to quantum and crypto and those types. Those are probably some growth areas that we still need to address and get to. And then I'll tell you the last thing, though, we're probably really fortunate because we're located in Huntsville, Alabama, we're located in Colorado Springs, we're located in the Northern Virginia area. Fantastic incubators for technical talent.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you again for your service and commitment. And we're learning a lot, and we're going to have to be nimble and agile to meet the emerging threats. So thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Rosen. We're happy that you were able to join us today on a Monday. I know it's hard for you. General Collins, last question I have for you. Can you give us an update on the Next Generation Interceptor program?
Yes, Senator. Thank you for that question. Next Gen Interceptor, we've been talking about it for a number of years. It is the future of the Homeland defense, the ground-based mid-course defense, Homeland defense against peer and rogue intercontinental ballistic missiles. That program is still executing. That is still our largest and highest priority program when it comes to that defense of the homeland against the peer threat. That program continues. A couple years ago, we did a down select, an earlier down select than planned due to priorities. And since then, we did replan about 18 months ago. We replanned the delivery of the program based on some issues and concerns with the solid rocket motor. We are continuing to drive that program forward. The end of this year, we are on track for the all-up-around full system critical design review to close the design phase of the Next Gen Interceptor program and completely move into the manufacturing and test phase of that as we drive towards first flight test in 2029. We have no open major liens against the design of the system, which is a plus at this point in the time of a program. We are, as we transition into manufacturing, identifying and finding some issues with some of these new systems, the solid rocket motor, the inertial measurement unit, as well as some in the sensors. And we are working to buy down those risks and move forward as quickly as possible to make sure we pull the date as far to the left as possible. General Guline, and I are regularly talking about Next Gen Interceptor and the important part it plays in the layered defense of our homeland as we move forward.
Okay, thank you. And General Lozano, good afternoon.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Chairman Wicker and I had the opportunity to visit the Pacific last August and spend some time on Guam in trying to assess the situation there. Can you give us an update on the implementation of the defenses of Guam?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your question. So the program is executing on schedule and on budget. I'm very proud of all the work that has occurred thus far to deploy early capabilities onto Guam. As a part of the Army's Transformation in Contact Initiative and also working closely with the Air Force and the Missile Defense Agency, as I stated earlier, not only do we have a THAAD battery out there, but we also have elements of the Air Force's air base air defense capabilities on Anderson Air Force Base. We also have a couple of lower tier air missile defense sensors, an ALP sensor, and a couple of integrated air missile defense battle command systems, IBCS, engagement operations centers. So we've started infiltrating capability out onto the island early so that we could start working through some of the integration challenges that we forecasted we might face when we started planning what the defense of Guam might look like. This has also provided an opportunity for the 94th Air and Missile Defense Command to start sending soldiers down to Guam to start training on these systems so that they could start developing CONOPS and tactics, techniques, and procedures, what we call TTPs, on how to operate and employ the system. Right now, we will conduct our integrated flight test campaign 26 this year at White Sands Missile Range. That'll act as a graduation opportunity, a test missile flight test campaign for us, and then we'll start flowing the bulk of the systems out to Guam in the 27-28 timeframe. So everything remains on schedule, everything remains on track, the development of the capability, the production of the systems, and so we're looking forward to continuing to mature and evolve that capability so that it maintains its relevancy against the threats we intend to face, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Senator King.
One final question going back to the beginning of my comments. Secretary Berkowitz, what is the justification for this bifurcated budget process that we've experienced last year and this year for the first time in my experience? Why do we need to do it this way, which is a radical departure from how defense budgets have been built over the years? What's the justification?
Senator, I'd have to give you the same answer I gave before with respect to the request specifically for Golden Dome, which is within my portfolio. The broader budget construction is well outside of my area of responsibility.
Columbia-class submarines is a one-time improvement, or
for this
B-1,
year,
B-21s. They didn't. I don't understand why Golden Dome is any different than B-21 or any other defense initiative that requires a special budgetary treatment that basically takes it largely out of the purview of Congress and congressional oversight?
Sir, the answer is the flexibility to address the dynamics of advancing technology and to accelerate the president's priority.
Well, that's not a very satisfactory answer, I must say. All of the things you said could apply to any other major weapons program that we've had in this country, and I just don't understand why all of a sudden 25% of the defense budget is off limits for the normal appropriations process. But that's something I'll take up with, I think there's a hearing tomorrow with Secretary Hegseth, Thursday. So warn him. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator King. I'd like to thank the panel for being here today and giving us some really good information. Appreciate your service again. If we have questions for the record, those need to be submitted, and I hope you will answer them in a timely manner. With that, the subcommittee hearing is adjourned. The hearing will come to order. Welcome to our witnesses today, and thank you for your service to this country. We look forward to hearing your testimony. As everyone here understands, the United States faces a very different threat environment than ever before. Our adversaries are developing non-ballistic threats, including hypersonic and long-range cruise missiles, designed to hold our homeland at risk. Our adversaries have also spent